everyone, welcome to my channel, Candy's Stories. Today we're looking into one of the most infamous paranormal cases in recent history, the Demon House. This story revolves around the Ammons family, following Latoya Ammons, her mother, and her 3 children, who were terrorized by demons in their new home in Indiana. In 2011, Latoya Ammons, her mother Rosa Campbell, and her 3 children moved into a modest home in Gary, Indiana, but it didn't take long after their fresh start in a new home turned into a nightmare, as they quickly noticed disturbing occurrences around the house. The family noticed a swarm of huge flies clinging to their screened-in porch, which was strange because of the frigid winter temperatures. When they would kill the flies, they would always return. At night, Latoya and Rosa would hear heavy footsteps coming from their basement, and then they would proceed up the stairs into the kitchen. When they would get up and check where the noise was coming from, no one would be there. They tried locking the door from the basement to the kitchen, but they were still hearing the sounds. One night, Rosa woke up and witnessed a shadowy figure lurking in the living room. She later found wet footsteps in the area where she had seen it. The hauntings had become increasingly worse as they stayed in the home. The Ammons family was trying desperately to live a normal life even with the paranormal activity. 4 months after moving into their home, family members gathered to mourn the loss of a relative. On March 10, 2012, in the middle of the night, Latoya's mother witnessed her 12-year-old granddaughter levitating above her bed. The visiting family formed a prayer group to help the little girl to stop levitating. After the terrifying experience, the visiting family decided to leave. They were completely freaked out and didn't want to stay any longer. The Ammons were desperately trying to look for help. The family sought help from psychics and local churches. One suggested that they might have spirits in the house. They were told to clean the house with bleach and ammonia and to draw oil crosses on every door and window. 2 clairvoyants told the family their house was filled with more than 200 spirits and were urged to leave. She was later instructed to place crucifixes throughout her home and to make the sign of the cross in oil on each of the children's foreheads. However, the children were becoming violent and were whispering in low tones, saying things like, "It's time to die," and "I will kill you." When they would speak, their eyes would bulge out and their faces would twist up in unnatural grins. Latoya was feeling like her body wasn't her own and was dealing with lightheadedness. She said her youngest son would speak to another boy that no one else could see and was thrown across the room by invisible forces. Her daughter was hearing voices that would tell her death was near and that she would never see her family again. The events took a toll on the family and forced the children to miss substantial days of school. This brought the attention of doctors and law enforcement, who got involved and were left shocked by what they witnessed. On April 19, 2012, Latoya took her children to the family doctor, Jeffrey Anayakwi, to have them examined. He had also noticed their strange behavior, calling it delusional, citing their low voices and disturbing comments they would make. He was frightened by their behavior and had never witnessed anything like that in his 20 years of practice. The children continued to show signs of demonic possession, and hospital staff witnessed Latoya's son fly into the air and then against a wall. The boy then crawled backwards up the wall and did a flip over his grandmother, landing perfectly on his feet. A nurse and a DCS caseworker witnessed the events and were terrified and ran out of the room. Even with these supernatural events, DCS decided to separate Latoya from her children as they were worried they were in danger. This devastated her, as she was struggling to fight these demons, and they took away her children. They were fighting together, and she felt her family was being torn apart. Latoya spoke to the Indianapolis Star and stated, "We'd already been through so much and fought so hard for our lives. It was obvious we were a team, and we were beating it, whatever we were fighting. We made it through together as a team, and they separated us." After Latoya's separation from her children, DCS invited the Hammond Police Department to walk through the home. The police officers who were at the home also reported strange incidents. According to the police report, 2 Hammond police officers experienced radio malfunctions and captured the presence of a white cloud-like figure. Captain Austin and another officer, whose name is redacted from the report, were the only 2 individuals in the basement when their voice recorder caught an unknown third voice. The ghostly voice whispered, "Hey." The unknown voice was caught by an Olympus digital voice recorder. This device is routinely used by officers to record statements and telephone conversations, and it has never malfunctioned before. On April 30th, Father Michael Maginot was helping the Ammons by performing an exorcism for the family. He spoke with the redacted officer. He stated he met Latoya and her mother on April 22, 2012. Father Maginot stayed at the residence from 6:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. He shared what he experienced within that short time frame. He noticed that when he spoke with Latoya and Rosie, the bathroom light would flicker. Every time he walked into the bathroom, it stopped flickering, but when he left, the flickering returned again. The flickering stopped once Father Maginot placed a crucifix above the light switch. He noticed water was running down a blind in the middle of the bedroom, but he couldn't find the source. He would notice the blind cord moving on its own in a side-to-side motion. However, there was no windows open and no drafts present. As Father Maginot tried to investigate the source of the water, he came across a boot-like footprint, similar to what Rosie came across when she had seen that mysterious figure. Reverend Maginot performed 3 exorcisms on Latoya Ammons. After the 3rd exorcism, and when one of his associates burned a piece of paper with a demon's name on it, did Latoya start feeling like herself again. Latoya gained custody of her children in November 2012. She permanently vacated the demon house in 2014. Zach Baggins, a paranormal investigator, was intrigued to hear the Ammons family being terrorized by more than 200 demons in their home. He decided to purchase the home and launch an investigation into the allegations. While filming for his documentary of the demon house, he became ill and couldn't leave his room for 8 days straight and suffered damage to his eyesight. Crew members were walking off set and were becoming hospitalized. Baggins would board up the windows and doors to face the horrors head-on in the dead of night. He said he would experience hearing growls and noises coming up the steps. He described the experience as unnerving, and the sounds are forever etched into his brain. The horrors became too much for Baggins, who later demolished the house 2 years later after purchasing it in 2016. Pieces of the basement were later saved for his Las Vegas museum. Thanks for watching! If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more sweet content.